Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, how can you predict the future, or at least try to predict the future? You create all kind of how do you call them theories or alternate hypotheses, but that's in investigation. And this you just make theories or plans and say, okay, what could happen with based on the information I currently have, and you make a few theories. This could happen, prediction, this, and you place them based on odds. Okay, this has, I don't know, or percentages if you want. You say, okay, this has the percentages of, let's say, 80% to happen. This one I think is about 50, the other one is like 32, and the other one is like 12. And then as things evolve, then all this could change. Maybe the one that you had at 80%, based on new information, new policies, changes in the whole scenario, this drops to 50, the other one who was at 50 now gets to 70, the other one who was at 32 goes to 34, the other one at 12 goes to 7, or something like this. And then you always change based on the situation over there. That's how you do. So when at the beginning of this garbage in Ukraine, they said, well, the Americans have some military advisors over there. For me personally, that was, oh, these are active troops that will fight and not, just train over there. They're not advising. Some of them are advising, but I think there's just an umbrella covering up the real objective, which is you are actively involved with the troops, not as maybe directly, but behind and operating with the Ukrainian troops, sending them to win against their brothers. So little by little, from this, I would say, how should I put it, theory or conviction actually that I had, but not based on evidence. Evidence like hard evidence. Oh, okay, I know Gigi, Mike, and Tommy are over there advisors, they are fighting. But how did I learn, or how did I get to this conclusion? Which is from the get-go, from history. From history. We are human beings. We do what we did before under the same circumstances. Or the variation is little. It's the same movie, the same plot, but with different actors, a little bit of different scenario, different time, different wind, speed, and all that. But it's the same thing. So I have two examples here to support this claim that the Americans are preparing to send more troops and covert operations under the name euphemism of military advisors to Ukraine to fight Russia. I had no doubt, 99.9% certain they were over there, they are over there, and they will be over there. It's just the number is gonna increase, and it's gonna happen like in Vietnam. All of a sudden, we're gonna be told, yes, they have to be over there. They're actively fighting, like they did in Vietnam and in Korea. But hey, let's go and read this article. I'm gonna show you two past wars when the Americans did the exact same thing they are doing, I think, in Ukraine right now and will be doing in Ukraine right now. It's very easy. The art of war did not change. It's the same. Why? It's because it's fought between the same organisms, the same people. The technology changed, but the tactics are the same. Instead of, punching you with my missile in your face, now I'm sending a missile to you, a real missile. And next time it's going to be, maybe a different wavelength that I will just affect you and paralyze you. I don't have to send a missile, just a wavelength. Zoop, and you're done. Maybe they already have it. I read an article, I can remember when, that the Americans have right now or developed a missile that is launched towards nuclear sites in Iran. Supposedly they are preparing, and it doesn't have to hit the target. It sends a certain kind of microwave that burns supposedly the chips, the microchips or whatever in the nuclear facility in Iran. That was the article I read. And I will probably make a video on that one. So they don't have to even, hit the target. As they come closer, it transmits this wavelength that's supposedly so acute, they will burn whatever they need to burn, so they shut down the nuclear power plant in Iran. And if it's in Iran, could be somewhere else as well. Now let's look at this article coming from Sputnik. US malls posting more military advisors to Kiev embassy. Now all this, you should read like this. US, the Pentagon, is going to send more troops in Ukraine. That's the translation. Okay, that's my translation. That's how I read based on my idiotic worldview that I have, right? Right. So remember, military advisors. I'm going to show you two whatever. Let's go with this one. Korean Military Advisory Group. This is the official interpretation of the Americans sending advisors to South Korea. I mean, helping there when it was partitioned between the Soviet interest and then the communists, and then by the other ones. And the Americans did not want to hold elections anymore. They didn't like democracy. But anyway, that's a different story. It's right here. Soviet Union split. Administration of South Korea, and then they sent military advisors, trainers. And then when the thing all exploded, obviously these guys became combatants. Now this is not as clear as is this right here. US military advisors in Vietnam in early 1960s. At the peak of the war in 1968, 9,430 US Army personnel, along with a small numbers of US Navy, US Marine Corps, US Air Force, and Australian Army personnel acted as advisors down to the direct and battalion level to train. So 10,000 advisors. This is what they say. All right, now you can go down here and find out the advisory in Vietnam and whatever happened over there. And in Cambodia as well, not only that. They were just advising. If you look at the official statements regarding the advisors, US advisors, whatever they were, including Georgia. Remember when Saakashvili invaded South Ossetia? Yeah, he did. I think it was 2008. While Putin was attending the Olympics ceremony. Now nobody calls for that ceasefire with the Olympics. Now they call for Russia to cease fire. Remember when this guy said, well, in the time of Olympics, during the time of Olympics, the war should stop, and Ukrainian said no, because that would give an advantage to the Russians. Now that the Russians are moving westward, now the Ukrainians said yeah, and the Russians no. Well, how about 2008? I haven't heard anybody saying, hey, Saakashvili, don't attack South Ossetia, but he did right when he was in Beijing, attending with Xi Jinping the ceremony, the opening ceremony of, I think it was the Olympics. I mean, I know it was Olympics, but anyway. So, again, Americans, NATO had, again, advisors over there, located in Georgia, the country of Georgia, when they attacked South Ossetia. And they got smacked, obviously, and NATO did not dare to move a finger, because Georgia, it's hard to get to Georgia. It's hard to fight Russia through Georgia, but harder than Ukraine. Ukraine has border with NATO, so we can always fight like that. And when the Russians come towards us, we just do like the three little pigs, right? Close the door and stay over there, lock the doors in NATO. And the Russians will not send any missiles because we were not involved whatsoever. We were Niznai. I don't fucking know anything. So let's read this article coming from Sputnik and see how what kind of spin the Pentagon gives to this. United States is considering sending more military advisors, troops I call them, to the US embassy. How many you could fit over there? 3? 5? 7 more? Okay, well. To the US embassy in Kiev, the US Department of Defense spokesman Patrick Ryder said, and I'm quoting, throughout this conflict, the DoD has reviewed and adjusted our presence in country. Why? They died? The Russians killed them? As security conditions have evolved. Currently, we are considering sending several additional advisors. Several. 3. To augment the Office of Defense Cooperation, ODC, at the embassy, just the embassy. That's what they say. What they do, are you going to know? No, they're not going to report it. The Russians will report it. The Pentagon spokesperson, yeah, you're a spokesperson, added that the office performed advisory and non-combat support missions despite being staffed exclusively with Department of Defense personnel. The number of U.S. advisors to be sent to Ukraine could be up to 60, some Green Berets, Politico reported, citing 2 U.S. officials. Advisors will support logistics and oversee the weapons Washington is sending to Kiev, as well as assist the Ukrainian military in maintaining the weapons. U.S. officials, they're just over there, man, just walk with their hands behind their back and not even armed. Hey, I don't know, Ivan, you don't do that, right? Sergey, do this, and I know, whomever. All right, and I'm quoting, the U.S. is getting more and more personally involved in this Ukrainian conflict. They are getting involved, it's an obvious thing. And let no one say that they have nothing to do with it. We believe they do. Russian President Vladimir Putin noted. I mean, you have to be a retard baboon. I mean, that's a pleonasm. But anyway, a retard is one thing, the baboon is a different thing. Because level of retardation, you remember? And the baboon, that's his condition. Western countries have been providing military aid, okay. So, euphemisms. I'm not going to go into that, but I was about to. They call it, no, it's YouTube. I can't say things. True things you can't say. If I say right now something truthful is not, and not to insult anybody. It's a true thing. They changed the term. They want to change the terminology. How we refer to someone who does some bad things to some, they want to change it like something else instead of saying you're a pedo. Okay? But if I say I made a video and YouTube had a big fuss about using the term, they want to push it. I disagree with that, but anyway, here it is, my friends. More advisors. Remember, advisors in Vietnam, in Laos, in Cambodia, advisors in the Korean War, and it's not only there. I gave you Georgia, a clear example. Kosovo has advisors, or wherever these guys are occupying, they have advisors. In Romania, they have advisors. Do you think that if Romania will get in a war, let's say, but it's going to be NATO, let's say Romania, somehow, because that's the way these guys operate. They want to be able to punch, but not punch back. Because I'm not punching you. They are punching. I'm punching you with that. You just focus on that. It's like I have a pistol, I shoot. Don't shoot at me, shoot at the pistol. No, shoot at the origin. You are handling the pistol. These are just the baboons here that you are using, unfortunately, in a very, very evil way to fulfill your own interest. So if Romania, let's say, would get in a scuffle with Russia somehow, who do you think is going to design the operations? Who do you think is going to command the whole defense of Romania? Do you think it's going to be the Romanian? Do you think it's going to be Maiorescu, Constantinescu, Faculescu, Pixulescu? No, it's not going to be that. It's going to be Johnson, and it's going to be... I was about to use a German name, but they are just pussies. No, Johnson. It's going to be Johnson, or maybe I should say Deschamps. Deschamps is going to be, or whomever these guys want, based on their methods of selecting their garbage. And then what's going to happen? The Romanian is going to be fucked up, and this Johnson is going to take his bags and move towards the next one, to Hungary. And then after that, do you think it's going to be Istvan fighting over there, commanding the Hungarian troops? Probably in Hungary, but anyway, it's going to be Johnson again. And Istvan is going to go and fight and die. And then when the Russians do that, what are they going to go? They're going to go to, I don't know, to Austria. And who are they going to go over there? Fritz. It's going to be Fritz. All right, my friends, here it is. Advisors everywhere. Non-combatant, combating troops. No, just advisors. I think is now with the so-called Ukrainian aid, $61 billion approved by the imbeciles in the House. It's going to go to the Senate. It's going to pass. I think it already did last night. And then President Biden will be, his hand will be held and maybe like that with a thumb. And that's it. It's going to be passed. Everything's going to be okay. The Supreme Court is going to say, hey, yay, belay. And the weapons are already there. Before these guys, the ink is dried on the paper, the weapons will be already in Ukraine. Why? They were ready. They knew it, that that's going to happen. All right, my friends, this is going to be a big escalation. These guys want to get us in a straight war, and they will. Remember the First World War and the Second World War. The same guys wanted us fight among one another. I'm not saying the other guys were not crazy or not crazy. They did not have interest. But on that interest and that passion and that hatred, these guys used it, maneuvered it to drag the Americans in the First World War, in the second one with the Japanese. Oh, do you mean the Americans were dragged in the war? They tried to get the Americans fight the Germans from the beginning of the war. And the Americans, no, no, no. And then it was Pearl Harbor. Great, right? What, 7th of December 1941, was it? And after that, what happened? Well, Germany had to declare war on these guys because these guys were fighting with the axis of evil. Man, and behind the guys were like, we're gonna make some more money and we're gonna have our little thing done over there. Yeah, fucking, you guys fight, we just wait. And now the same thing. The European Putin is gonna fight the Europeans. In the name of whom? Europeans, eh? Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.